as we continue on the road to WrestleMania tonight, we actually make a stop with their competition. AEW had their Dynamite show, and let's just say this one was a very interesting evening from an undisclosed location. That's right. It was not at the where they've been filming in Jacksonville, Florida the last couple of weeks. Supposedly this was an underground bunker or somewhere. We do not know where the hell they did it, but AEW said it was from an undisclosed location this week. As always, we started off with AEW Dynamite, and we started off with a one-on-one match. Kenny Omega versus Trent. Kenny Omega wins the match in 19 minutes and 14 seconds. What's good, everybody? It's Michael Fletcher starting it off tonight, and this was the fight of the night. No doubt about it, but I'm a little perplexed. This fight was at least 4 stars. No doubt about it. Fight of the night, well-deserved honor, but AEW, why would you shoot this show knowing there was no people in the crowd? No crowd, and you give us a damn near 5-star classic? All right, I get it. Alternative wrestling, you want to give the fans what they want, but why do you pull the trigger tonight and give us one of the best matches for AEW since you guys had to go with no people in the building? I mean, this should have been set it up for another night. This should have been set up for a bigger event. I'm sorry. AEW Dynamite with no fans? I don't get it. It's a 4-star fight. I mean, you can even go 4.25, 4.5, no doubt. But I don't know. I'm a little lukewarm about this. I'm happy we saw the fight. The fight was amazing. But with no fans? I don't know, AEW. I think you might have fired the missile prematurely, as they would say. I want to say something else, but I'll keep it a PG show here tonight. So, nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, the fight was awesome. No doubt about it. I'm not going to knock it. But there was no fans. You get no hype, no nothing. A match like that, a match you give with fans, we're talking 5-star classic.
Absolutely, MF. And I'll tell you, MF, I mean, here's the thing. You did have some AEW talents, some male and female talents that were serving as crowd, I guess you could say. Similar to that first empty show they did. But there were superstars that were, being a somewhat crowd there. So in a sense, there technically a little bit was.
I don't count that. That's bullshit to me. I don't count it.
Okay, all right. To each their own. But anyways, I gotta go 4.5 on this one. This was the fight of the night. I mean, I didn't have much hope for it going in. I'll be honest with you. I've never really been that high on Trent Beretta. I mean, MF, you know that better than anybody, especially back in the days when he was teaming with Kalen Croft. You remember I was very, very much against that tag team. I didn't like their look. I didn't like their gimmick. I didn't like their ability, what have you. But I got to say, he impressed me tonight. But then again, look who he was in there with, for goodness sakes. One of the best wrestlers, if not the best in the world right now, Kenny Omega, who has been number 1 in the PWI 500 many of times. And he showed that here tonight. I mean, look what he did with Guevara on the last show for the Mega Campeon. I mean, that was amazing. And this was just as great. And yes, it was strange. Yes, I will give you that. The intensity and the aggression, not to mention the brawling early on, conveyed the sort of passionate dislike that would be reserved for the most heated of feuds. Cody on commentary simply referring to a previous match between Omega and Trent in Japan is not enough to explain to the viewing audience why the two would approach this bout with the vigor they did. Aside from those issues, it was a hard-hitting, dramatic match that was sloppier than you might expect from the talent involved and ran a bit too close to the time limit. As a match that put over the competitive nature of AEW, it was fine. As one that made sense given the ranked competitors and the relative lack of contention between them. That didn't really hit home. But other than that, this was a very, very good match. A lot of great near falls. And Tony Schiavone and Cody Rhodes on commentary. That is just absolute fun. Even though we do miss JR and Excalibur and Taz. And we hope that this whole nonsense will pass soon enough. And then we can get back to that sense of normalcy. But for right now, 4.25 to 4.5 stars. That is my rating for this. This was the fight of the night. So, and I also like the interactions with the superstars, you know, just like they did a couple weeks ago, and that's what made that show so fun. So, nothing more to say on this. Michael Bullock, come on in. Fight of the night for me, 4.25 to 4.5 stars.
Yeah, I'm going to say 4.25 to 4.5 stars as well for this. I mean, I think this was definitely well done. It did seem strange with the not having any fans there, but and I don't think it's that bad as Fletch was making it out. But you know what? Be that as it may, I'm not going to argue with him on it. So, I mean, that's his opinion, and I think we have to respect his opinion. So, and that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah, 4.25 to 4.5. This was definitely the fight of the night, hands down. So, nothing more to say, Fletch. Let's move right along.
We got some women's action as it was Harushita. I've been working on it, Florio, and she went up against Anna Jay. Anna Jay making her AEW debut. Harushita wins the match in 5 minutes and 13 seconds. And Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
I'm gonna call this a Tony special because because you know how high I've been on Hikaru Shida over the last several weeks, and tonight proved no different. I mean, not just her beauty, but also her
great wrestling ability. Yes,
yeah, she is awesome. Now, when it comes to Anna Jay, who I never even heard of before tonight, but then taking one look at that beautiful dame, I'm like, okay, that could be like a Tony Fortune girl right there. So no doubts, but because that girl's got all beauty. But hey, Sheeta carried her to a somewhat passable match here. I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars for the effort. I mean, it was exactly what it should have been. A showcase for Hikaru Shida that continued building momentum toward a future title match with Nyla Rose, maybe at the Double or Nothing event on May 23rd. Should that even go down? While simultaneously hinting at a feud with Dr. Britt. I mean, you saw Dr. Britt, and Dr. Britt was in that crowd. Makeshift crowd, but she was in that crowd nonetheless, and they got into each other's faces a couple of times. And even throughout those two dreaded words that we hear 10,000 times a day nowadays, social distancing. But none. I mean, if I had a dime for every time I heard that, I'd be a freaking millionaire right about now.
Oh, trust me. Yep, I know the feeling.
Yep, and that goes for all of us. But anyways, Sheeta was impressive, particularly when she had the opportunity to throw hands with Anna Jay, and is finding herself as a performer in the company. Dr. Britt Baker, conversely, is the perfect heel to oppose her in her quest to ultimately dethrone Nyla Rose for the AEW Women's Championship. So I could easily see Sheeta and Rose for the women's title. I could easily see that May 23rd at the pay-per-view that as of now is scheduled for Memorial Day weekend, a month and a half from now at the MGM. It's supposed to be at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, but who knows if all this craziness is going to end by then? With our luck, probably not. But
I mean, with a lot of the states saying that they're holding everything out, I know as far as today goes, the governor said she hopes to have everything reopened by the end of this month, by the end of April. And I know
that would be great.
the governor of Massachusetts, Charlie Baker, has already said that as of now, he's got that thing being about all the businesses that, as of now, he's hoping to have it at least done by maybe May 4th. So maybe slowly but surely we could start getting normalcy. Probably not right away. I mean, AEW's event in May, I don't think it's going to happen. But June, July, August, maybe by then everything will be back to normal. I think right now SummerSlam looks golden in Boston. I think they might be fine. If AEW decides to push it back a month, I think you might be doing the right decision. May might be cutting it close. June, I think you're going to have a better shot at it. That's just me personally.
Right, and it's Memorial Day weekend, which is near the end of that month. So
which is possible because the CDC did say 8 weeks, and that would pin it right around that time. So maybe AEW might get away. Who knows?
Yes, and WWE obviously they've already canceled all events scheduled for the month of April.
Yeah, which was the right decision.
And including, unfortunately, something we were looking very much forward to in a couple of weeks with Monday Night Raw that was scheduled to be here in Providence for the 13th, but that's been kiboshed.
Well, no, it has not been kiboshed.
Yes, I know.
Because they have made it up. There is a makeup date in September.
September 18th.
September 18th, which is a SmackDown Live event. However, for all you people who bought tickets for the Monday Night Raw on April 14th,
they're going to be honored.
They will be honored. So for all you people who did get tickets for that show, if you show up at the ticket window or if you show up at the arena, you will get entry. You don't have to pay a second time around for it. Now, if you want the refund, Ticketmaster will reimburse you for it. But if you decide, I want to go to SmackDown Live instead, use that ticket that you got for Raw, and they'll let you in. No questions.
And by then, this hard time.
Hopefully by then, yeah, the coronavirus will be long gone and we'll be back to normalcy. As a matter of fact, I think the NFL will be fine. Well, that's the story for another day.
Yeah, NFL and college too.
Yeah,
for the most part. So that'll mean our epic block of programming.
We'll be back. Yes, we'll be back in the fall.
Yes, absolutely. But right now, 2.5 stars, like I said, is the rating for this. I'm still way too high on Sheeta right now, and there's no doubt about it. She's going to be Rose's next challenger. Will she dethrone her? I don't know. I would like to see it. I think she deserves it, but I think they're going to try to make Nyla Rose as this unbeatable monster heel champion and have her hold it, and there could be money and Sheeta and so many others chasing her. So we'll see. So 2.5 for me. So Michael Bullock, I know we usually poo-poo on the women's matches in AEW, but this one not too bad. It was solid, but not quite overly spectacular, though.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, I thought it was a fine match. What did you give it, Florio? I couldn't.
2.5.
Yeah, 2.5 to me is the correct rating for this, and I gotta give the women credit here. I mean, they put on a really good match for everyone to enjoy. I certainly enjoyed it, so I got no problem with it whatsoever. So, Fletch, it is yours, my friend.
Yeah, 2.5 stars, no doubt about it. Sheeta's looking good. Sheeta is definitely the next in line for Nyla Rose, but if Sheeta doesn't walk away with the belt, it looks like she might be having a little run in with a certain doctor. And quite frankly, I don't mind having her going after. I like the little big swole versus Dr. Britt Baker thing that went down because there was not only just an AEW thing going down, there was an NXT and WWE connection with their men that was going down. And we all saw how that was playing out. So, I mean, we'll wait and see what happens. There's really nothing more to add. So, all right. So next up on the card we had was Lance Archer making his AEW wrestling debut against Marco Stunt. Lance Archer wins the match in 3 minutes and 54 seconds. And Michael Bullock, you definitely had the line of the day. Lance Archer is scary, is what you said.
And you're just now finding that out, Bullock. You're just now finding that out.
Yeah, and let's also say Marco Stunt found out the hard way. I mean, oh my gosh. Oh, I mean, I mean, Jake Roberts wasn't joking with everything he said about him, and he continues to target Cody. And I mean, my gosh, I mean, some of the moves he did tonight. It just drove like it's very scary to say the very least with what this guy can do. And I got to be quite honest with you guys. I think somewhere down the line, I think he could be a future world champion if given the opportunity. So, I mean, and you know what else, guys? Even with even if Marco Stunt had his boys there with him, I don't think they would have been able to withstand the power of Lance Archer. And I mean, after the match, I mean, he basically, I mean, he just basically, I mean, threw him right into the crowd. I mean, man, oh man, I mean, and all I can say is to Colt Cabana, good luck when you face him, because you're gonna need that. Absolute luck. Fletch, I mean, I don't think there's really nothing more that really needs to be said about this guy.
Did you ever give a rating for the match?
What was the time of the fall?
3 minutes and 59 seconds is what I had. Hold on.
Well, it was a dud, but to me, but
Yeah,
all
354.
I could, yeah, it was a dud for me. But
Okay.
I mean, I definitely come away impressed with this guy. So
I think,
yeah,
I could give this an NA, no rating. This was just a squash. Look, Marco Stunt, amazing performance. Really nothing more to say. And yep, so nothing more to add. And Anthony is yours.
NA. Marco was a great first opponent for Lance Archer. It showed the great size disparity as it allowed Lance Archer to look like a true monster. This was a tremendous squash. I mean, no question about it. And I will say this. It was the perfect use of stunt. Small, can bump like crazy, made Archer look like an unstoppable beast. Of course, it may have been better for Archer to run through a bigger competitor to really put over his dominance, but this was great for what it was. Archer has a bright future. Looks like a star destined for big things. Quickly, and I am gonna go on the record here, guys. I think that TNT Championship tournament. Do not be surprised if the final match ends up being Lance Archer and Cody Rhodes. Don't be surprised, unless something forces a change, of course. And Cole Cabana, as the wholesome defender of all that is good, proclaiming he will defeat Archer, is the perfect role for one of wrestling's most likable stars. So that's really all there is to say on that. It's an NR, it's an O rating. But MF, like I said, TNT Championship Tournament, that final match, that double or nothing or whatever, May 23rd, God willing, Rhodes and Archer. That's the big money match.
Well, we'll wait and see it because, you never know how the brackets are going to break down in the whole 9 yards. Unfortunately, I just don't see Rhodes and Archer at the end. I understand what you guys are talking about, but I just don't. For some odd reason, I just don't. When you're talking about the TNT title and it being a secondary belt, I hate to say it, but I don't see Rhodes or Archer anywhere close to winning that tournament. Sorry, I don't. If you really want to know who my winner is, you're just gonna have to wait down the line because I'm not gonna tip my hand tonight for anybody. So anyway, next up on the show, was the Natural Nightmare, and they were going up against 2 members of the Dark Order. And when it was all said and done, the Natural Nightmare wins the match, 4 minutes and 44 seconds. QT Marshall and Dustin Rhodes with a big victory here this evening. I mean, all right fight, 2 stars, solid match. Really nothing amazing to talk about. But I will say this, man. I hate to say it, but Creeper number 8 and Creeper number 9, boys. Oh, did you get yourself, boys? Did you get yourself? You boys were in big trouble because the Exalted One was not happy with you boys, and boy, did you pay a price for your failures. Eek. Yeah, nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, Creeper number 8 and Creeper number 9. It's a good thing it's an undisclosed location because they might be MIA.
Oh, absolutely. Did you give a rating for that, MF?
Maybe about a mere 1.5.
Yeah. I could probably do the same thing. Rhodes and Marshall showcased some great old school tag team wrestling. They cut a quick pace, but they never tried anything beyond their means, and the result was a really fun squash tag match straight out of 1980s Jim Crockett Promotions. Brody Lee punishing his Dark Order minions rather than attacking the baby faces is a nice change of pace that places the emphasis on the masked competitors to perform. We shall see if it helps going forward. So that's really all there is to say for me. 1 to 1.5, and Bullock, it looks like Brody Lee was taking out all of his aggressions from how he was mistreated in the WWE out on these poor guys.
Yeah, and he certainly did it in a big way. No doubt about it in my mind. Yeah, I'll give it about 1.5 as well. So I'm not going to really say all that much. So I really got nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
Main event of the evening, tag team fight, as it was the American Nightmare Cody and Darby Allin versus Shawn Spears and Sammy Guevara. When it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 21 minutes and 20 seconds, Shawn Spears and Sammy Guevara won the match. And then after the match was over, Darby Allin attacked Cody Rhodes and beat the living daylights out of him, much to the shock of everybody. I think my jaw hit the floor. Florio, your jaw probably hit the floor. But, oh my goodness, Darby Allin, what have you done, son? You just picked a fight with the American Nightmare? Ooh, it looks like Cody's got a lot on his plate lately. Archer, and now Allin? Florio, Cody's is gonna be one very busy man. It looks like coming up. It looks like he's got 2 wars about to go down right now.
Oh man. Second best fight of the night, 3.5 stars. Really good. Played off of the various histories the guys have. Also a quality setup for the upcoming TNT Championship tournament. Did you guys notice that on commentary, Tony Schiavone inadvertently may have spoiled the first round of the tournament as the show went off the air by revealing that Cody and Allin would square off in the next round? It was a slip of the tongue and nothing fans could not have inferred by the closing minutes of the show anyway. Darby Allin is an emotional wrestler, so it makes sense frustration would manifest itself in the form of a hard right hand to the face of Cody. That they have competed once before at Fyter Fest and did not have a conclusive winner fuels hard feelings and unsettled business between the two. Spears winning was a nice touch since he has been conspicuous in his absence on AEW television, despite a high-profile rivalry with Cody last summer. He is a talented veteran with plenty left in the proverbial tank, so it makes sense to give him a momentum-building win before his showdown with Darby Allin in the first round of the TNT title tournament next week. So that's really all there is to say on that. So 3.5 stars. This was the second best fight of the night. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll give it about 3.5 stars as well for the match here. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it looks like Cody's got an issue with Darby Allin after what just happened. I mean, my goodness gracious, I don't think anybody saw that coming. So yeah, so there's really nothing more for me to say. Let's go on to the overall thoughts on AEW.
Of course, no ratings because these shows are technically kind of whatever. But Anthony, final quick thought on AEWs as I set up for NXT.
My final thought, very simply, this week's episode of AEW Dynamite was a good show with a great opener, build to the TNT Championship tournament, Hikaru Shida's push continuing, and a great debut by Lance Archer under horrible circumstances, venue changes, and working through a skeleton crew for a bit. AEW is still delivering quality television each and every week. They're not going to be going anywhere anytime soon. So Wednesday Night Mayhem, I don't think it's going to be going anywhere anytime soon. I don't know if that'll be the case when it comes to Ridiculously Raw and the Cerebral Smack Talk within the next week or so, especially with the big news that came out today. So really all I can say on that. So Michael Bullock, let's get your final thought.
Yeah, I mean, I like what I saw tonight out of Dynamite. I mean, they seem to continue to deliver well. I mean, despite crowds being so, I mean, with no fans whatsoever. But yeah, they continue to really, they really continue to deliver for these shows. So yeah, there's really nothing more to say. Let's quickly get into NXT.
All right. And we do start it off with the Velveteen Dream going up against Bobby Fish. Velveteen Dream wins the match in 8 minutes and 16 seconds. Hold on. All right. And I'll start it off on this one. We'll reset the table. This was a good fight. This was a good, solid match. And the thing is, every time the Velveteen Dream fights with any member of Undisputed Era, it doesn't matter if it's Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, Adam Cole, or Bobby Fish, they're entertaining. Velveteen Dream is one of those guys who's easily becoming one of the best guys in NXT as long as he stays healthy, and that's the biggest concern with Velveteen Dream. He has been injury prone But every time he performs, it's an experience among itself. It's a great match. He's a great entertainer. He's got charisma upon charisma upon charisma. WWE, do something. Sign this guy now. Put him on Raw. Put him on SmackDown. He doesn't belong in NXT anymore. That's all I'm gonna say. Remember when he put the thing on the tights? Call me Vince. Vince, you should have been calling him up at least a year ago, for heaven's sake. But it is what it is. Nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours. I give this a solid 3 stars.
He said he'd be right back.
Oh,
So
all right. So, Mike Bullock, I give it to you then.
I was gonna say I'll take it for a spin. So, what did you give it, Fletch?
A solid 3.
Yeah, I'll give it a solid 3 as well. I mean, I agree with everything you said. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter who he's in there against. Especially if it is any member of the Undisputed Era. It's just they just really deliver, and I agree with everything you just said, Fletch. I mean, I think it's time for WWE to wake up and bring this guy to the main roster, whether it is Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. It doesn't really matter. I really hope they do get the message here eventually, but with our luck, maybe that won't be the case. So I really got nothing more to say.
Flair's still not back
I don't know
yet.
if Anthony.
Nope, he's still not back yet.
So let's just move on.
We'll move on. The next fight of the night.
Hello.
All right, Florio. All right,
you're back. Here. Yep,
you're back. All right.
Yeah.
We didn't know if you were back or not, so it's all yours. So we're just talking about We're talking about Bobby Fish and
Yes, I know the opening match on NXT with the Velveteen Dream and Bobby Fish, which I 100% agree was a 3-star match, and Velveteen Dream. I mean, he made his intentions clear. I mean, he wants Adam Cole and he wants the NXT championship. We just don't know when that's going to be going down. I mean, it's always nice to see Fish or Kyle O'Reilly get the chance to work a singles bout because they are mostly known for tag team wrestling. This was a decent bout, but something about it was off. They worked well together and they didn't botch any big spots. Maybe they just didn't have the best chemistry. Having Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and O'Reilly out there to taunt Dream might have helped. We have had fanless matches for a few weeks, but this one suffered more from the silence than most. So I agree. Solid 3 for the effort. So let's move on.
Next up we had, this one we'll probably throw away anyway. It was Dexter Lumis going up against Jake Atlas, and Lumis wins the match in 3 minutes and 34 seconds. Now, everybody was like, wait a minute. Dexter Lumis? Who the hell is Dexter Lumis? Does anybody remember Samuel Shaw of TNA?
Yes, I do.
The creepy son of a you-know-what that was. That was hounding one of my personal favorites.
Christy Hemme.
Yeah.
I remember.
And for all you fans out there, Jake Atlas was a former is the APW champion and was actually featured during Stephanie McMahon when she did Undercover Boss for WWE. As many of you guys know, Jake is actually an LBGT individual. Basically, he came out gay like Orlando Jordan a few years ago. And this was actually his debut in NXT. So, really nothing more to say here. Just to give a little backstory on this, Anthony, if you want to talk about it, briefly, you can. If you want to move on, then we'll just move right along, because next up we had was the Gauntlet.
Move on.
All right, we'll go with the Gauntlet. Shotzi Blackheart started it off with Diana Purrazzo, and Sashi Blackheart won the match. Then she went up against Xia Li. Blackheart won that. Then it was Sashi Blackheart versus Aaliyah. Sashi won that. Sashi Blackheart versus Kaden Carter. Sashi wins that one. It came down to the final match. Sashi Blackheart versus Dakota Kai. And when it was all said and done, Dakota Kai won it all. 22 minutes, 51 seconds of the entire match. And it will be Dakota Kai punching her ticket into the NXT Women's #1 Contenders ladder match that will go down next week on NXT. Anthony Florio, give it up for Sashi Blackheart for being the MVP of the fight. However, the outcome was not in doubt.
Did I have that one?
You did.
I told you all she was going to win that, and I'm not at all surprised. 3.5 stars for the effort. I mean, I could probably say this was the second best fight of this show. One that there was one better, obviously, but WWE has been using gauntlet matches to get people over for the past couple of years. It works well because it makes these competitors look resilient. Shotzi Blackheart, originally of Impact Wrestling fame, she came out of this bout with a lot of momentum despite losing in the end. The only nitpick I have is it would have been nice to see WWE follow through with the push by having her claim victory. But this gives her ammunition to request a future women's title match at some point. Xia Li, Aaliyah, Deonna Purrazzo, and Kaden Carter did a very good job of getting Blackheart over. The women's division in NXT is strong, and we got to see a lot of future champions in this one bout. So I got to give it 3.5 stars. Claim second best fight of the night on this. One match that was better. We all know which one that is. We'll get into that at the end, but 3.5 stars. Bullock, the outcome was never in doubt, but hey, Shotzi Blackheart, man, let me tell you, I've known her. I remember her in Impact Wrestling, and here she is now in NXT getting an opportunity, and man alive. I mean, you could have made an argument for her to win that match, but she didn't. So, but Bullock, I got to tell you, you got a potential future champion within the next year or two.
You got a diamond in the rough, Bullock, in NXT, and her name is Shotzi Blackheart. You got a diamond in the rough, bro.
Exactly right.
Oh yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, she is a star in the making in the somewhere in the future, and I can tell you, Triple H is definitely really gotta be liking what he's seeing right now, and yeah, I mean, she may not have won, but she was a winner tonight because of her performance. So yeah, the outcome was never in doubt, but yeah, definitely, you definitely got to give it up for Shotzi Blackheart here. So yeah, I really got nothing more to add. 3.5 stars. This, like you said, was the fight of the night. So yeah, let's just move on to our final thoughts on tonight's edition of NXT.
Whoa, you jumped the gun a considerable, Bullock.
You got somewhere to be? Somebody's got somewhere to be, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, what are you talking about?
We're not even close to being done, bro.
No way.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just
We
Been a
still got
long
2
day.
more matches to talk about. We haven't even gotten in the main event.
Sorry.
Been a long day for you,
It's
hasn't
been
it?
a
Sorry, it's
long
been a
day for
long.
you, kid. Yeah, that's all right.
It's
That's all
yeah,
right.
it's been a long day for me, especially
Couldn't,
with everything
couldn't,
that's been going on.
couldn't wait to move on there, could you, Bullet? Move on. Move on.
Yeah, I guess so. Jeez.
Okay. I get your point, guys. I get your point.
Hey,
Well, let's move on
it's
to the
not.
next thing.
Yeah, there you go. Better. Now, I was gonna say there was nothing bad. There's nothing wrong with it. We just had to, we wanted to poke. We could poke a little fun. Don't worry, it's all good. It's all good. It's not too bad. The next thing we did have was Kushida 1-on-1 against Joaquin Wilde. Kushida won the match in 5 minutes and 18 seconds. Michael Bullock, you get to lead off on this.
All right. All right. Well, let me try to refocus here after my major dipsy do botcheroo here.
Yep.
Oof. Um. What was the time of the fall? Meh.
5:18.
Yeah, I'll give it about one and a half. So I really got nothing more to say. Just move on,
He
Fletch.
just feels he's so embarrassed right now. Florio, we broke the poor kid. He's so embarrassed right now. Nah,
In these hardest of times, I mean, there's never a better time to have a little fun moment than now.
oh yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get a moment here. Yeah, look, I'm gonna say about maybe 1.5. It was a good fight. It was a good match. It was definitely a solid match, no doubt about it. I enjoyed it. I like Kushida. Kushida is good. Joaquin Wilde is not bad either. And at the end of the day, yeah, they did pretty well for himself. So yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. And Florio, I give it to you. So I give it about 1.5, like what Mike Bullock was given.
Slight disagreement. I didn't think it was that bad. I'm actually going to give it 2.5. Kushida and Wilde have good chemistry, and they used it to put on a solid performance. Kushida has a fun gimmick, but he's going to need something else to define his character. Unfortunately, the locker room in NXT is so stacked right now that it could be months before either of these guys are in the hunt for a title. In the meantime, it would be great if WWE had them exchange wins for a little while to create a non-title feud for them. So that's really all I can say there. And Joaquin Wilde, of course, another former Impact Wrestling product, formerly DJZ, Zema Ion,
Yep.
former X Division champion. So, yeah, so that's really all there is to say on that. So 2.5 for me. So let's move on.
All right, and now we go to the main event of the evening. The big one, guys. The NXT North American title on the line. The champion, the limitless Keith Lee versus Donovan Dajkovic versus Damian Priest. When it was all said and done, winner of the bout, 11 minutes, 56 seconds, and still NXT North American champion Keith Lee. He pins Dajkovic with the Big Bang Catastrophe for the win. Man alive, what a match. I mean, great match, great battle, great title fight. Keith Lee just continues to pick up the big moments. Another big victory for him. I really got nothing more to add. This is a solid. This was a solid 3.5, 3 3/4. You could maybe make an argument for 4, but I think 4 might be is a reach. But 3.5 to 3 3/4, absolutely. Anthony Florio, go.
Yeah, 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. This was the fight of the night. When you put 3 men of this size in the ring together, you are guaranteed to see a physical fight. Add in what these 3 particular superstars are capable of from the top rope, and you have something even better. Today's WWE is made up of a lot of smaller stars. When we get to see 3 powerhouses like this compete, it's a rare treat. Everybody played their part to make this a fun and exciting main event. even without fans, it was an energetic performance. Let's hope it's not the last time these three superstars step into the ring together. So that's all I can say on that. Even though the outcome was never in doubt, Lee going over. He is the next big thing in NXT right now, and this proved it. So, man, that was fun. Just imagine how much fun this would have been if we had a crowd, and B, Mauro Ranallo on commentary. If you had a crowd in Mauro, the rating would have been 4.5 to 5 easy.
Absolutely. Agreed.
No question. But empty arena, and then you had Tom Phillips and Sam Roberts doing the job. So that's all there is to say on that. But 3.5, 3 3/4 of a star. Absolutely. Fight of the night. No doubt about it. Bullock, just imagine how much higher the rating would have been if we had a crowd and Mauro Ranallo on commentary. There would have been a lot of Mamma Mia's during this. So Bullock, your thoughts on the main event?
Oh yeah, I agree. I mean, it was a 3 to 3.5 star match. I mean, what can you say? I mean, this was a damn good match between these two. I mean, the rating definitely would have been higher if we actually had a crowd, but it is what it is. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. So okay, now it's on to final thoughts.
MF?
I'm sorry, I didn't know you guys were done. So why don't we give a quick thought? So Anthony Florio, you lead off. Final thought on what was undoubtedly a pretty decent NXT.
Yeah, it was decent. We had two great quality matches on this show. I mean, the main event, obviously, the fight of the night, no question there. The women's gauntlet match, a close second, and then we had like two outstanding quality matches. One good quality, and then another in the middle. So yeah, I mean, was it the best show? No, but the main event was good, and I liked the gauntlet. Kushida Wild and Fish Dream, they were fine. They could have been a little bit better on both ends, but still nothing outwardly bad. And things are looking up starting next week. I mean, you got that big women's ladder match to determine the number one contender for the NXT Women's Championship to go up against either Rhea Ripley or Charlotte Flair, depending on how that goes down this weekend. And then of course the big one. Should we call it the final encounter? I mean, you would have to imagine it is, with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano, empty arena or not. Can they do what they've been doing? Every match those two have been 5-star classics. All three of them, when they had that epic trilogy. With this, the big question is, can they pull off a fiver even with no crowd and no Mauro on commentary? Only time will tell. So that's my overall thoughts. So Bullock, how did your show? What did you think of your show this week?
I thought it was a decent enough show. I mean, with some of the matches that we had tonight. I mean, especially the triple threat NXT North American title match. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's really nothing more to say. I thought it was a decent enough show. So let's just put a bow on this, Fletch.
All right, absolutely. We will put a bow on this tonight, and we're going to get ourselves ready for next week because on Friday is our big special Friday Night SmackDown and the preview of both nights of WrestleMania. Now, programming note, on Saturday night at 10:30 Eastern, we will recap night 1 of the 2-night WrestleMania event. Sunday night at 10:30, we will recap the second night of WrestleMania. And then we don't know what's going to happen after that. So we might be on.
MF, I can shed some light on this.
All right.
Monday there will be a Ridiculously Raw because I heard they've already taped the Raw the night after WrestleMania. I heard that's already been done.
Okay.
And they've already taped. And I believe they also taped the NXT as well.
All right.
The SmackDown, though, I don't think they have because I heard they were thinking about doing it live, but I don't think that's going to be an option anymore.
Well, we're just going to have to wait and see. So we're going to have a Ridiculously Raw. We will have an NXT. But then after that, now we're going to be going into our gray area, guys. So we'll see what happens then. So until then, for Anthony Floyo, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher. Thank you so much for watching this. And as always, guys, have a good night. So long, everybody.